I was going to include this story in one of my morbid reality videos. However, I neither wanted this story to overshadow the other stories, nor did I want the other stories to overshadow this one. Because this story, quite frankly, is huge, and I haven't seen anyone talk about it before. So without further explanations, let's begin. Andrei Zeltser was born in 1990 in Belarus, which is a landlocked country in Eastern Europe. It's bordered by Russia to the east and northeast, Ukraine to the south, Poland to the west, and Lithuania and Latvia to the northwest. At the time of Andrei's birth, Belarus was still part of the Soviet Union, but a year later, on the day after Christmas in 1991, the Union disbanded and Belarus became its own country, as did other parts of the Soviet Union such as Georgia and Kazakhstan. Andrei lived his entire life in Belarus, and he worked for EPAM Systems, a software engineering company that was headquartered in Pennsylvania in the US, but was started by Belarusians. On August 16, 2021, Andrei posted this flag onto one of his social media platforms and called for the people of Belarus to fight for the future of the country. Now, to anyone who doesn't understand why this flag is significant, let me explain the context. The flag that you're seeing on screen is the white-red-white flag that was used by the Belarusian People's Republic in 1918 before Belarus became a Soviet republic. Then it was used by the Belarusian National Movement in West Belarus, followed by widespread unofficial use during the Nazi occupation of Belarus between 1942 and 1944, and again after it regained its independence in 1991, until the 1995 referendum. In a modern context, this flag is used to oppose the current regime of Alexander Lukashenko, Belarus's president. He genuinely and proudly describes himself as Europe's last dictator and has very close ties to Putin. So as a result of a social media post, Andrei was most likely put on a government watch list. On September 28, 2021, members of the State Security Committee of the Republic of Belarus, or the Belarusian KGB, showed up at the apartment where Andrei lived with his wife and 9-year-old child. The couple and their child resided in Minsk, which is the capital of Belarus. The KGB members were going to take him into custody for seemingly defying Lukashenko. However, Andrei wasn't going down without a fight. Video captured what happened next, but I don't think I can show it without this video being removed. This screenshot is from the video. You can see Andrei looking at the camera while brandishing a gun. Personally, to me, he looks like he knows that no matter what happens next, he's not getting out of that room alive. Moments later, the KGB enter and a gunfight ensues. Andrei actually managed to fatally shoot one of the members, but unfortunately for him, he was outnumbered. He was shot multiple times by the other members, killing him. They took Andrei's wife into custody. An edited video of the incident, which was recorded on multiple cameras, was broadcast by Belarus state TV channels. It was clear that they tried to make Andrei look like the bad guy in the situation. This was followed by the arrests of more than 100 people in connection to social media comments about the event, on charges of insulting a government official or inciting social hatred. Yeah, it's probably worth mentioning at this point that the government of Belarus does not respect free speech at all. Among the arrested was a journalist named Gennady Mozaiko. Mozaiko was detained in Moscow, Russia, and sent to the Okrestina detention center in Minsk. The Daily Telegraph reported on an allegation that he was subject to extraterritorial abduction in Moscow by Belarusian agents. The official Belarusian account is that he was arrested in Belarus upon crossing the border. He was jailed for publishing an article about Andrei where a former classmate of Andrei's recalled him as a nice person. Mozaiko's article was published on September 28, 2021, which was the day of the killing, and was deleted the next morning. The website of Komsomolskaya Pravda in Belarus was blocked by authorities on the same day. The newspaper then ceased its operations in Minsk. Russia expressed disappointment over these developments, based on an expectation that work of their media outlets would not be interfered with, while also citing freedom of the press. Nevertheless, the Belarusian authorities charged Muziko with whitewashing a criminal. As of October 16, 2021, Muziko was charged with inciting hatred and an insult to a representative of the authority under the articles of the State Criminal Code. On October 1, 2021, at the funeral of the KGB officer killed during the raid, Major General Oleg Belakonev publicly called for murdering members of the opposition as a revenge against hypothetical killings of state security officials. He was quoted as saying, "In what families were these people raised? I think we deal too gently with them and the such like. For some reason they do not act in a lawful manner, and we try to do everything within the scope of the law. We try to talk to them within the limits of the law, to persuade them within the limits of the law, to reason them within the limits of the law. One should follow Putin's words and waste them in the shithouse, 20 or 100 persons for one Argai, as a lesson to everyone else, so that no one was offended. It may be rude, but it's honest." Lukashenko held a minute's silence to honor the agent who was killed, and said that the government would not forgive the opposition supporters for the death of this guy, his actual words. Prominent opposition activist Pavel Latushko said that a fair investigation of the incident is impossible under Lukashenko, and to quote, "Not only Andrei Zeltser, a calm, kind and compassionate man, has been declared a terrorist. All of those who disagree with the regime have been declared terrorists," which is actually a spot-on comment. By November 3rd, 2021, more than 136 people were detained for trying to whitewash Andrei's name in social networks. For more than a month, people were denied access to lawyers, and human rights activists tell the media that the administration of the jails forbade them sending basic necessities to them. Thank you all for watching the video. I decided to talk about this incident because, and as I said at the start, I've barely seen anyone talk about it. We all know how evil and corrupt Russia is, but people need to realize is that Belarus is no different. It's an awful situation, and I do hope the people of Belarus can get their freedoms back eventually. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.